Yo, what is good YouTube? Matty Dubs here, back with another video, guys. We have some more breaking news, notes, highlights, observations from another day here in New York for Giants training camp. A very interesting day where we got to see a lot of rookies shine, a lot of young guys play very well, but also some new additions start to ramp up their practice, including a guy in A'Shawn Robinson who was one of the best defensive tackles in all of free agency. Coming over here to New York, hasn't really played too much. He is starting to, get healthy, and we are starting to see that on the football field over the last few days as he's starting to ramp up. Now, in this video, I'm kind of going to break down everything that I know and everything that I saw from training camp, I believe day 10. So, before we get into the video, make sure you guys do me a huge favor by smashing that like button to help the video get out to all of the Giants fans around the world. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Join the family. I will be covering the entirety of the offseason, which includes the rest of free agency, training camp, preseason, regular season, trades, everything you can think of. I've got you guys covered, as well as live streaming Giants games throughout the season. Going to be live almost every single Sunday, 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, a bunch of games. So make sure you guys come through for that. But without any further ado, let's get into the video. Now, like I said, there's been a couple of rookies who have been really showing out, including a guy like John Michael Schmitz, who is absolutely stealing the show at center. And he is pretty much a lock, not only to be the full-time starter, but he might be a lock to be a very, very, very good piece that they have on this offensive line, alongside a guy like Evan Neal, who I believe did go down with a little bit of an injury during practice yesterday. Seemed to be okay, walked off under his own power, but I think he's okay, as well as Andrew Thomas is also one of their franchise tackles as well. So they seem like they have three guys who are pretty much centerpieces, focal points of this offensive line going into, the foreseeable future. Now, another guy who's been looking extremely good, extremely talented, and I guess you guys should probably guess who it is, Jalin Hyatt, the rookie wide receiver out of, I believe, Tennessee. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he has been absolutely electric out there on the field. I mean, making plays down the field, burning guys. I mean, he recorded, a speed of 24 miles per hour the other day at practice, which is pretty much unheard of. You don't really see that too much. So this is a guy that they hope, and this is A'Shawn Robinson right there that you just saw working out. But Jalin Hyatt is a guy that they want to get involved early and often. He might not be a full-time starter going forward, but I can guarantee you this man is going to at least touch the field, during a lot of the games throughout the season. As long as he can stay healthy, I feel like he is a dynamic speed threat that can get down the field. And as long as he has the ball in his hands, the man can make big-time plays. So I do expect Jalin Hyatt to not only come in here and contribute, but I think he's going to contribute a lot going forward. We all saw a lot of Kayvon Thibodeaux. He looks like a beast, man. I'm excited to see what he can do in another season here in New York. I feel like he's got that, that sack leader type of potential in the NFL. I feel like he can really hit that height and those lengths of just being one of the best pass rushers in the entirety of the NFL. And I think the Giants did a good job getting him when they did a couple of years ago. And then you also got, like I said, you got Leonard Williams, you got Dexter Lawrence, you got A'Shawn Robinson, Azeez Ojulari. So, I mean, this defensive line right now looks absolutely loaded, especially when you take into account that A'Shawn Robinson, like I said, one of the best defensive tackles on the market throughout free agency, came here to New York. He said, you know what, this team has what it takes to go far in the playoffs. Let me help him. And he is going to do exactly that going forward. And then in the secondary, you have a couple of guys struggling in terms of, Deonte Banks. And I've said this over the last couple of videos. Don't panic. He's still young. He's still got a ton of tremendous value potential as a young cornerback in this league. I feel like there is a lot more developing that he needs to do, obviously. But until then, they do have a guy that's been, breaking out so far in camp. That is Trey Hawkins, another rookie, I believe, out of Old Dominion, and he was raving about the fact that he had someone on this team who was formerly of Old Dominion. I believe it was who was it? It was O'Shane Eximenes, I think is how you say his name. He was an Old Dominion player, so them already starting to build a chemistry between those two. So that's kind of fun to see. But yeah, like I said, Trey Hawkins, Jason Pinnock are both starting to break out here in camp. We remember a couple of weeks ago, or maybe even like a week ago now, Jason Pinnock had a crazy one-handed interception during practice. He's been getting some first-team reps, as well as Trey Hawkins. They've had a lot of corners start to, struggle in camp in terms of the nickel corner. Cordell Flott, Darnay Holmes are two guys who, they had high hopes for going into next season. However, they have been struggling a little bit. That's why you see Adoree Jackson moving into the slot. You see Trey Hawkins getting some first-team reps. reps. You're seeing, Amani Oriarie getting in there a little bit. So they're really trying to figure out who is going to be the starters at these positions, because it is very important to know. And right now, I guarantee you there's not too much of an idea who's going to be your starting three corners, with Banks kind of struggling a little bit, with Flott and Darnay Holmes struggling a little bit. They have a lot of questions to answer over the next couple weeks of practice, but I do think they will be okay. We've seen Cordell Flott, we've seen Darnay Holmes, and all of these guys really play well together in the NFL, so I think they'll get going. They'll, get their feet underneath them this season and get the rust off and start to play really well. And even if they don't, you still have Trey Hawkins, you still have Deonte Banks and Adoree Jackson. They're going to be good as well. So I'm excited for the future of this Giants DB room. But do me a favor, guys, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family, turn on post notifications, and also check out today's sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. I'm going to be doing live streams every single Sunday, doing drafts with you guys and putting in higher, lower picks. So if you guys are interested in that, check out this next segment, sign up, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. This video is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. And if you love playing fantasy sports like football, basketball, baseball, and so many other sports, but also love being able to win money, you're going to want to stick around for this whole segment. Introducing Underdog Fantasy, the ultimate platform for fantasy sports lovers. Do you want to experience the thrill of drafting your team and competing for huge prizes? Well, look no further. With Underdog Fantasy, you get access to a wide range of fantasy sports, including football, basketball, baseball, and so much more. But here's what makes Underdog Fantasy stand out from all of those other apps. They've got quick and user-friendly drafting process, a unique and exciting game formats, fair and competitive contests for all skill levels, and attractive bonuses and promotions. Not only can you draft teams and compete with others, but you can also play a game of higher and lower, which is personally my favorite thing to do on there, but you can potentially win 20 times the money you put down. And if you use code MattyDubs when you sign up, Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. And what that means is basically when you deposit, let's say $100, they'll give you a free $100 to use and play with. Click the link in the description to get started, or head to the website right now to start dominating the fantasy world. And don't miss out on all the fun. Be a part of the Underdog community starting now. And don't forget, if you use code MattyDubs, they'll match your first deposit up to $100. Let's get started. Get into drafts with me starting today.